Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
I understand the audio was cut off before you guys came on. So, Armani, he's just a marketing genius and, of course, graphic designer, photographer as well. So he's just on here giving you guys tips and just giving you guys insight his life story. So back to what I was saying, Armani, just give us a little glimpse about like what colleges to go to, of course, and what happened, like, and what events shaped your life into what you're doing today.
Yeah, man. So I went to Florida A&M University. Everything that I did at the school, it's kind of molded me into, who I am today. I went there for mechanical engineering. I was there, understanding just the whole path of, not even just, engineering, but entrepreneurship and really the social life. That's really what I took grasp of. I wasn't the best when it came to the engineering side. It was really just one course. But yeah, once I started going there, man, I met a lot of people. Met Moish, I met a lot of people, man. It just changed my life on how I see things. Because I came from like a area or a background where high school was really just the level of success that everybody wanted, like a high school diploma. And, me and my parents, my parents went to Florida A&M. Well, my mom did. And so, I kind of had that ambition to continue to go after I graduated high school,
Right.
and continue on to, doing everything else that I do now. So, yeah, man. So for those of you who don't know, I'm from Tampa. So I'm a Florida raised, kid, but I'm also a military child. So I was born in Tampa. We moved to El Paso when I was 1 year old. And then stayed there for about 3 years while my little sister was born. And then we moved to Augusta, Georgia for another 3 years. So after that, my dad got out of the military and we moved right back to Tampa. So I was about 6, 7 years old, going to the second grade when I came back to Florida.
Yeah, definitely. So for some of you guys who don't know, Armani, like, give us some of your daily activities. Like, what's some hobbies that turn into business for you? Because I know a lot of college students, and they're going to hear, and people hear this podcast, they're of course going to be like, "So what does he do? What does he do?" So just lay it out, and at the same time, you never know who you're going to get from here. So you guys just listen up because you guys may need his services very soon.
Man, so I do a lot of things on a day-to-day basis. I'm one of those people who are always, I'm always working. And I'm trying to make sure that anything that I'm doing in life or anything that I have to, I need help with, I also know how to do. So that goes within anything. So that's the reason why I do photography. I actually picked that up about 6.5 years ago. And it was just with me capturing the memories. I really didn't want to start charging people until, bills came about. So, I got a car in 2018. And from there, I started charging. I started, just doing my thing with photography, and became what people know now as A-Money Photography. So that's doing pretty well, man. But also along that side, I kind of picked up videography, editing the pictures. I started to pick up on graphic designing. And, I've had a whole lot of things that kind of transpire from being an entrepreneur that I was at that moment. So I started going into, taxes, doing taxes for people, started building websites for people. Currently now I'm actually starting to do UX design. So creating apps for individuals. And it's just a lot. It's a lot, man. And I enjoy doing it because, like I said, everything that I possibly would need in the future is something that I want to just know how to do personally myself. So if I get to a time where I'm just ever in need or, don't really have the bread that I want, I'll always be able to do it myself.
Right.
So that's really the biggest thing. I create music also. I produce a little bit. I do a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's really the gist of, I guess, what I do on a day-to-day basis, just working on bettering myself in each of those categories.
Oh, dope. That's dope. That's the service level, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, so So I want to ask you this, and I know you could probably shed more light on this. Like, what turn of events
Mm-hmm.
happened in your life that, of course, like, what made you continue to keep going? Like, I know you had days where you just said, "Man," like, did you ever see yourself getting this far? If that's my question.
So I'll say the first thing, or like that turn of events that kind of made me in my mind know that I have no choice but to keep going, was when my parents split. My parents split back in, it's 2022 now, back in 2018. And ever since that day, I tell people this story all the time. I was only paying for one bill. I was paying 345, and that was just for my car note. And
Shit.
after, yeah, so like I was paying pretty much a lot, but at the same time, I was only making $400 a month working at Sky Zone. So I was like, okay, cool. My parents are paying for my rent. There was their gift to me. It was like, as long as you're in college, we gonna pay that everything else for you. It was all right, bet. All right. And it was like, as soon as you graduate, it's on you. I'm all right, bet. But as soon as they split, I was in my junior year of high school, just getting into the bulk of my coursework with engineering.
Right.
And they just automatically, man, after that happened, it would be like every other week it was something new. First week it was like, okay, we really can't pay your rent anymore. So, you're gonna have to take basically 500 something dollars. Now, mind you, I'm still making $400 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So my income hasn't changed. And then like the next week after that, I had to start paying for my car insurance. And then came my phone bill. And then came my, it was just so much, bro.
Uh,
So I went from 345 in expenses to about $1,400 in expenses all in the blink of an eye, and still the same income. So I had no choice but to do what I did. I had to, just get myself off my behind, go do work. I worked 2 jobs at a time. I was working 14-hour shifts, all while being in school. Don't know how I did it, but I made it work. Then I would say the thing that kept me and keeps me going is my son. My son is my motivation. My son, I want to be that father that will have his children worrying for nothing. So that is really the biggest thing, man.
no, that's really dope, man. Proud of you continuing doing that, because we need people like that still in the world.
I appreciate it.
That doing that. So, but with all that going on,
Mhm.
you know, what advice would you give someone who wants to start a business? Matter of fact, like if they're not knowing any skills, they don't know what they want to do with their lives, of course, and
Mhm.
they just want to get into something, but they don't want to work a typical job, if that makes sense. Because entrepreneurs, we're not people. We create. You see how you have several ways of income. We create ways just to keep monetizing ourselves. So, what
Right.
advice would you give them on any basis to just how to start a business?
I would say start with something that you love. Everything that you love, it can be as simple as you creating, or you playing the piano, or sculpting something. There's always something out here in this world to where you can actually put yourself on that forefront and be the main person to get that job done. Um, or if it's just your passion, find your passion. If you already found your passion, that's a great first step, because most people don't find their passion until their late 20s, late 30s. So I've seen people go to YouTube. YouTube University is probably the best place to go, but also not only for just that, but for entertainment. You can always monetize something that you love to do, and that is the main reason why there's a lot of rich people, rich millennials, rich Gen Z kids going crazy right now, financially, because they found what they love to do, and that's all they do. And they just make the best out of it. So definitely just start with an idea, or if you don't have a hobby or anything like that, just find something that you enjoy doing. Once you start there, find ways, or don't do it for the money, but just find ways on how you can reach the world and influence the world, because once you impact more people, the money will follow. I tell people, don't ever chase the money. Money is the root of all evil, but it also is the savior of all grace. You feel me? So as far as being physical on this world. Okay, it can buy you happiness. I don't care what nobody says. Happiness can definitely buy you some. Money can definitely buy you happiness. So, at least the comfort of the mind. So, yeah, start with that. Find your way. And get mentorship. You always need somebody to follow. It's a good following. Don't follow, anybody who's just doing it for clout, or, not doing it for the values that you have, but always follow somebody who aligns with the same values that you have. And the rest is history.
Definitely agree with that. Definitely agree. So, with that being said, like, tell us a little bit about the metaverse, man, and
Mhm.
tell us about NFTs and just. I know you was on the Oculus the other day, and you was kind of broadcasting a little bit about your just your interaction with it. So just tell us about what made you get into it. Like this,
Mhm.
let's give us the rundown, man. We like to do.
Okay.
We got time.
Say that. So, when it comes to the metaverse, man, the metaverse is very different. I was very intrigued. A lot of people have a bad stigma about what it's going to be, what it can become, and a lot of people think it's just, you're gonna sit in your headset for the rest of eternity. But
Right.
the whole general aspect of it is that it's combining the internet with physical reality, or augmented reality, and that's really what the metaverse is just combining things that we already do on a day-to-day basis and allowing people to become more free, especially with us being home already. 2020 hit, pandemic started to happen, everybody was inside, and society is basically moving in a way to where people are working from home. Kids are learning from home. So having these VR sets and everything are allowing people to not only find a whole nother world to express themselves in, social media wise also, but also another way to make money. So I looked at that as a chance. Okay, let me see what's going on in this Oculus stuff. Let me see what's happening. And what I'm noticing is there are individuals who are doing things that are not possible in the real world. it's and it's weird because it's like, how can you think of something that will do this or do that? And I tell people all the time, we're meant to be on this earth to create. We're creators. Everybody is a creator. If you're not creating something or creating some type of feeling within another person through your services, you're not fulfilling any duty that God is kind of giving you. So I really want to make sure that people understand metaverse is just another tool to become wealthy in the future, and it's just going to get better. um so yeah, nfts are really just today's world. When it comes to art, selling art, it's the same thing with nfts is just a digital way of doing it. Okay. Let's see what else. It's so much stuff, bro. It's so much stuff, like dealing with cryptocurrency is just you see when inflation right now. Bitcoin is dang near at an all-time low right now. My
And
little
it's really it's actually really a great market right now, to be honest.
yes.
This is a buying point. And what do you? So, are you considering this the market right now for Bitcoin? Do you see it going any lower? I know you're not a financial expert, or none of us are on
Yeah.
this channel, but I
Mhm.
just want to give your opinion to what do you think?
Yeah, so I spent the last 3 years, almost 4 years, trading and learning the crypto markets and learning just the foreign exchange market. And what I've noticed is that every time something that has a background of being big, as Bitcoin was just at almost 70K this time last year. So just the fact that it's low, we want to buy low and sell high. So the lower it goes is a better opportunity for you to buy into it to go up. So what I'm possibly going to do, I'm not even sure if this is a good thing, but taking my money out of my crypto portfolio and then putting it all on Bitcoin, because that's an easy and really simple flip for me. So I'm all about basically multiplying my income. And so seeing this opportunity happen, I think this is the best time for for people to get into the market right now.
No, I definitely agree. I was like, man, this is people who peep. And, I always say a quote that says, "There's opportunity in chaos," and you know,
Yes.
once people
Hmm.
are looking at like, Warren Buffett says that when people are afraid to buy, buy. When people are buying up, don't buy.
Right.
So it just lets you know that you just have to peep how the environment is moving. But with that being said, like, do you see yourself going into the metaverse as a business venture soon in the future?
Oh yes, definitely. One of the things, and this is something extra I started doing, actually started learning how to create worlds.
Mhm.
What you call it, Horizon Venues is one of those apps on the, in the metaverse or through Oculus that Facebook created. And it allows creators, just people who want to, just grow within this community, um, teach them how to actually create. And it's pretty dope, man. Designing boxes or buildings and designing clothes. I want to definitely be on the forefront of all that. So it's, that's something I took a part of. So I'll definitely be putting some more money into that zone. Oh, and digital real estate. Forgot to say that.
Yeah, definitely. I have an NFT. Uh,
Okay.
I have like 2, 3 NFTs. Matter of fact, they're in my wallet. But yeah, I was really playing with OpenSea. You guys, of course, like if you guys don't know,
Mm-hmm.
this marketplace, you guys for the metaverse and NFTs, primarily for NFTs. But I was just on there trying to buy stuff on Decentraland. But man, that shit is expensive as hell. Like
No, for real.
expensive as hell. So like, what are some worlds and what are some places people can automatically buy into that may not be as much, but will have a good return on their money? Because what are some of the benefits? Matter of fact, if you could explain that.
Yeah, so I get the idea that most people are doing the general way of, let's say, buying NFTs and dealing with the blockchain or the Ethereum blockchain. But there's also another kind of newer and it's a lot cheaper way of buying NFTs, which is Cardano. So ADA, if you guys ever been on, Coinbase or I have Uphold. It's if you have Robinhood, if you see ADA, that is another cryptocurrency that's actually allowing people to, fungible token is really going to help people do what they need to do within the metaverse. So I have a lot of that. I have about, I don't know how many. I've created 2 NFTs and I've also bought about 3. But the rate of just buying it is so much cheaper than Ethereum. And I really recommend people to actually get on that. And I could definitely, if you guys hit me up, I can definitely give you the name of the websites to go buy that stuff, how to mint your NFTs, and just doing all that to put into the metaverse, to put in this augmented reality that's about to start happening more often. So I'll definitely keep you guys up to date with that.
Yeah, definitely. They just got to keep listening to the podcast, man. Because if they don't listen to the podcast, they're not gonna be able to get this info.
Facts.
They're lost. So,
Facts.
yeah. So how do you feel about just the whole world in general right now? Like, I know this is not
Mhm.
an opinionated podcast. We're not talking about anything political, but how do you feel about the future with Elon Musk, of course, and just like him and the central link of him saying, "Hey, let's plant things in people's brains," and we can play music. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. I personally, I ain't getting no put in my skin, not in my brain. I don't really like that. I mean, I guess it's an interesting concept. Just because, I mean, nowadays the reason why the world I think is feeling like it's getting worse, which of course it is, but I think people are noticing them a lot more, simply because social media is at its all-time peak right now. People are connected much more than they have been in the past. We see a lot more things happening all over the world. Just imagine back to where we didn't have cell phones, didn't have any technology to communicate with each other, but just the news. The news will only show what it wants to show.
Right, right.
But on social media, you go on TikTok, you see what's going over there, happening over there in Ukraine, China. You see all these different things happening, and it's kind of crazy. It is crazy. It's not kind of crazy. It is crazy. But I think it's all about what can you control. You know, God put us on this earth to move the way that we want to move in his eyes. So, you know, he wouldn't put us through anything that we couldn't handle. Right. So it's all about that decision making. What are you going to do? You know, when these central things start coming about, are you going to do it? I mean, do you feel it's in the best of your interest? Personally, I'm not going to touch it. But you know, the man is smart. The man is very, you know, I think he's for the people. I honestly feel like he is. He just has a lot of people who doubt or don't really know much about anything that he's doing. So it's nothing but fear.
Right.
And that's just a bad way to live. You can't live in fear. So
I definitely agree. I definitely do agree on all your points. You made some valid points. And you know, I don't want to keep you too long, Armani, because we do have a
no,
short
that's
podcast.
fine.
This podcast is 15 minutes.
Okay.
I just want you to give some closing remarks and just, you know, some information about how people can follow you, what ways
Mhm.
to contact with you, and once again, can you reiterate the type of businesses you actually help people with, and you know, just you got your closing statement.
All right, say that, man. So yeah, man, y'all move through life as you. Don't let anybody change who you are. Don't let anybody control who you are. And always have an eye on what your next steps are. You know, if you have anxiety, that's just because you're anxious about the future because you know you deserve more. I really want you guys to always keep in your heart love, no matter how bad or how wrong somebody does you. Always keep that love in your heart because it's the only true thing that can keep you connected to your soul outside of this physical body. So continue moving with love, move with love, move with love, move with love. But y'all can follow me at on Instagram at DAH Exchange. Um, Also on Twitter is Monty2K11. Where else? TikTok, DAH Exchange, and also on um Facebook at Armani Humbert. Okay. If y'all want to get at any other social media other than that, you know, that's different. You guys can hit me up on the side. And you know, follow my other businesses. But yeah, man, Moise, I appreciate you, brother. This was a good experience, man. Y'all start following this man. This man is going places. He has always been a great person in my eyes, man, and I've seen nothing but growth from him. So, you know, I appreciate him heavily. Like I said, man, y'all just start having the courage to do whatever you want to do. Go for the stars, take that risk. One of the biggest sayings and quotes that I have in my lifetime, and this comes from one of my mentees. He said, sometimes you just got to learn how to fall off a cliff and learn how to fly on the way down. It doesn't matter how hard, you know, something may seem. You may be the person that's fit for it, and you may be the angel that everybody needs to, you know, come from that situation. So yeah, that's it, man.
Man, definitely, you almost made me have to joy, man.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it, man. Like the respect is mutual, like on all ends. So you know, I'm glad you're doing your thing, man. You know, we always stay in contact, even though we don't see each other much in person, but we always stay connected via telephone
Yes, sir.
and everything. But like I said, you guys, make sure you follow Armani, follow up with him. He's a very informative guy. We need people like that more in our community, not only just as Black man representation, but just someone who's young and look just like us. So I appreciate you guys once again for tuning in on Road to Billions podcast. And Armani, I appreciate you again once again for timing in with us.
Appreciate you, man.